Javed Abdi Foundation, JAF, which also stands for Journalism, Advocacy and Fun. Please subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, like, comment, and share.
Nipun, my last question to you is about creating attitudinal change. You had talked in your talk, आपने कहा था कि attitudinal change पे you're also working. You do a lot of sensitization workshops and everything. But other than workshops and having these one-on-one sessions or where you do these things, but how do you see attitudinal change happening in this country when it comes to persons with disabilities के
Okay,
बारे में?
I am going to answer this question in two parts, okay, if you allow me to do
Yeah,
it.
please.
And the second part is purposely because there are many people with disabilities here, so I want to give
Yes.
them a message also on how they can create that attitudinal change.
Yeah.
I think the first one is that I think disability needs to be mainstream. For example, I think why do we even need accessibility auditors? Why is it not that universal design becomes such a part of the curriculum of all architects, civil engineers, etc., that everybody really knows the harmonized guidelines, accessibility, universal design, etc. In term by the very nature, in that sense, that it becomes intrinsically a part of them in that sense. That is very important. Secondly, why isn't everything in disability mainstream? For example, you have sign language interpreters here. Why is sign language not offered as a third language in every school? Just like you can choose German, Sanskrit, French, or whatever. Why can't you choose something like sign language? When it comes to special education, why is it not part of every B.Ed curriculum to have some portion of special education as part of the curriculum, so that even though there are special educators that are needed for severe intellectual disabilities, but every teacher knows a bit of special education in that sense. And I'm just giving you three examples, but I think there needs to be a more mainstreaming in that sense. At schools also, you need to have disability education, just like you have environment education, you have gender education, you have civics education. Disability sensitization also needs to start at that level, because disability in many ways is the biggest minority in the world, even though it's the quietest minority because people do not even know about it. But I think since this is a group of persons with disabilities, I think I'm going to give all of us also another answer, that I think all of us also have to be brand ambassadors of that change. For example, if somebody asks us queries about disability, etc., it is our duty to, not just a right, but I think our duty to openly talk about disability, to destigmatize disability by, like, for example, if somebody asks you, why are you disabled or whatever, a lot of people feel reluctant to ask a person with a disability because they feel that a person with a disability bhi bura maan jayega or whatever. But I think we need to have that inner confidence within ourselves to talk about our own disabilities, talk about our own challenges, talk about how we can overcome them, etc. And what is exact specific help that we need to function normally in society. So I think the more we articulate our needs, and the more we articulate the fact that we are as normal as anyone else, it's just that we have some impairment that can be removed through societal and infrastructure changes. I think we will be living in a more equal opportunity country.
Yeah, definitely true, Nipun, about mainstreaming disability, and obviously जो disability identity है उसको strengthen करना बहुत जरूरी है for a person with disability. And I grew up with a person who had, I think, the strongest disability identity ever, and that really reverberates. Like, the fondest memories I have are that me doing wheelchair circus on my uncle's wheelchair, and just spending time with him has completely, I just can't explain it. And I think when I go to colleges, and when I see students with disabilities, and I see there are a lot of challenges that I see when I go to universities, and I want you to because we have a student audience, right? And you are a leader, and if you can say why is it so important, like you have said that it's important, but why, and how can you talk about your disability, and how can you advocate? Because when I go to colleges, and when I am a person without disability, right, and I can't talk about disability, I've grown up, I have lived with it, lived with my uncle and grown up on playing with him and doing all sorts of stuff with him, having fun with him. Even a whole different dynamic when I became a teenager and used to watch shows and have a lot of shorhul halla and all that. But it is really sad for me to see when a person with disability is excluded. And मैं बहुत करता हूँ कि push come on, we can do this, and we work together. We obviously have these meetings, but and we do a lot of different skill building and training and capacity building workshops as well. But why is it important? If you can just talk about that, Nipun.
No, Shamil,
And
first
how?
of all, I must congratulate you. I think you're doing some excellent work by going to the schools and colleges and pushing this case. So thank you so much on behalf of the disability sector for all that you're doing here. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be inspired to create that change also because of what the Javed Abidi Foundation is doing. And I think you bring a lot of vibrancy with your youth and your ideas and your enthusiasm to the sector. So thank you. But and I like your question, because and I think it's a very important question. I think it's the most important question.
Yeah, because coming from
you,
it's
the most important thing
be
that you've asked us in this interaction, because there are so many people with disabilities here. And I think my answer to them is that how can you expect others to treat you as equal if you yourself do not treat yourself as equal to the rest of the world? If you are yourself considering yourself inferior and you're yourself feeling that it is below your dignity to talk about disability or whatever, how can you expect the world to give you dignity? So I think the first step towards equality from others is accepting equality within yourself. The moment you as a person with a disability feel that मैं भी दूसरों से कम नहीं हूँ और मैं भी जो दूसरे कर रहे हैं वो कर सकता हूँ, तो क्या हुआ अगर मैं अच्छे से सुन नहीं सकता, या तो क्या हुआ अगर मैं अच्छे से मैं दूसरों की तरह चल नहीं सकता, या तो क्या हुआ अगर मैं दूसरों की तरह देख नहीं सकता, पर मैं भी अपनी फील्ड में जो करना चाहूँ कर सकता हूँ, और ये प्रॉब्लम है तो है, इसके बारे में मैं बात करूंगा, लाइक whatever. I think, and I think if you do not have that attitude, you have no right to expect others also to have that attitude of equality. So it starts with you, yeah. Everything starts with you.
Because I remember Mamu, I used to get angry with him sometimes because going to movies with that man honestly was a task, because malls, so you know how inaccessible they are.
Yeah.
And even then, मतलब अगर हम लोग मूवी देखने जा रहे हैं, ठीक है, तो अगर किसी की गाड़ी डिसेबल्ड जो डिसेबिलिटी के लिए जब मॉल ओनर अपनी लगा देता है, कोई लगा देता है, कोई BMW लगी हुई होती है, some rich guy has parked his car, वो गाड़ी हटनी जरूरी है. अब कुछ भी हो जाए, मूवी मिस हो जाए, ठीक है, गार्ड लिटरली आई हैव सीन हिम येल एंड आई मीन एक स्लॉट वहां पर दूसरी है, राइट नेक्स्ट टू इट है, राइट नेक्स्ट टू इट. मैं मामू को बोलता हूँ, मामू लगा लीजिए ना, क्या हो जाएगा. बट दैट टाइम आई डिड नॉट अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग के भाई हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इट इज टू फाइट, टू एडवोकेट, टू दैट स्पॉट, क्या क्या जद्दोजहद से वो स्पॉट मिला है उसको, उसके लिए कितना लड़ना जरूरी है. एंड द स्मॉल थिंग्स once I remember he was at a protest and I was also there. I'd seen this happen and किसी सिक्योरिटी पुलिस वाले ने उनके व्हीलचेयर के सामने अपना शू डाल दिया, ठीक है, so he could not move. Now what I was like, okay fine, now what's going to happen? He literally took his wheelchair and he went over his foot because he had a not a automatic one but a manual. So he literally did that. उसके बंदे के पैर के ऊपर उछल दिया.
उस बंदे ने क्या किया था? सॉरी, उस बंदे ने क्या किया था? It's a great story, yeah.
Yeah, so he had actually put his foot in front of Mamu's wheelchair, जो front wheel back wheel पे. So Mamu can't move right, and he was he was wheeling himself in, right. So Mamu literally looked at him changed a glance with him, and then he just pushed his wheelchair hard enough, so he went over his foot and he went. So I think
I have a request here. Why don't you write his biography?
Right now my mom is working on it, and she has been working on it, and that is a really big task for many people. Also don't even talking about this kind of stuff and about Mamu is bringing back so many memories, and I can continue talking about it, but it also brings me this it makes me nostalgic, but also brings tears to my eyes, because he is my if I have to say, I did not expect myself to be doing what I'm doing right now, and I'm only doing this as a tribute to my uncle. and that's the it's really hard to I think put it into words. The About writing biographies, I think it's going to be one hell of a book. That's true, and
When
we
is it
have
expected to
started.
be out?
Yeah.
When is it expected to be out?
When is it expected to be out? That I'll have to get back to you, Nipun. It's a really big task. I mean, I was once reading his CV and I was like, "Bhai, nahi." Matlab, every time I read it, matlab, you sort of have this कि ये सब भी हुआ था. Matlab, I only got involved and started work like understanding about disability from a different perspective, other than being his nephew and learning from him passively, but actually reading up about disability and meeting people with disabilities, traveling, and actually making this as part of my studies after I started JAV. So now also you asked me when the book is expected to be out, so that would be up to my mother, and she's working on it. Compiling it itself is a huge task. There's a whole back room, storeroom, and she's cataloged everything and she's working on it, but opening the pages and reading it itself is super hard and emotionally a struggle. So yeah, that's there.
But I'm sure it's going to
But
inspire a lot of people, So.
yeah, it will definitely inspire a lot of people, and I think
And I think you said something very good, and if you can give me one more minute, I want to
yeah, sure.
talk about that, that when you spoke about your mamu going over a person's foot or whatever,
Yeah.
even I have done naughty things, like chased people, done this, etc. And I think that is the attitude we all need to change about
Exactly.
disability. Unfortunately, the government of India came up with this term called Divyang, which I don't know your opinion about it, but I think it's a stupid word to use for persons with disabilities, because we are not divine beings. And I think it is up to all of us to make sure that the world realizes that persons with disabilities are also normal human beings, just like anybody else, who have their own desires, their own ambitions, their own wants, and they just want to live a completely independent, normal life. So yeah, I just wanted to say that because I think you said something beautiful. So
Yeah, like definitely nomenclature is like completely off. Every time and what's weird is because some government official or the government is using it. A lot of people have started using it as the norm, and they are actually not. They don't even know the meaning of it, right, or what it actually means or what does it signify and how wrong it is, but they're just using it because हाँ मतलब सारी जगह पे ऐसे ही हो रहा है, मतलब जो अगर आप डिपार्टमेंट मिनिस्ट्री
yeah. And the point of the word Divyang, was to destigmatize disability, right? That's what the government thought. I
yeah
don't think destigmatize it, but that's what they thought, right? But
yeah
it's funny that one a chief minister of a particular state said that मैं इस state की economy को दिव्यांग नहीं होने दूंगा, या crippled, he wanted to say that I won't let it get crippled. So the objective has become exactly the same, where it's become a verb, just like
yeah
Viklang was, but actually with a verse of meaning in that.
yeah Mamu, actually, this I have from Rama ma'am. So now that I've been starting like writing stuff and like working on certain documents. So she even told me, "Ki don't write the word PWDs. Why are you shortening it? Write the whole thing. It's only three like words, right? Person with disability. Why even have PWD? Right?
Yeah.
Why shorten it? Because it becomes a tag, right? कि
Yeah.
PWDs, 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 PWDs. हर जगह PWD. Why can't you say person with disability? And which I thought about, हाँ यार मतलब अगर मतलब why मतलब एक tag हो गया है कि मतलब सारे documents में आप देख रहे हैं कि PWDs, PWDs. So I completely agree कि this has to change, and I hope you do some advocacy and on it. And I think it is 8:48, and it's time. I think we can keep having discussion, and that's true. But I think मुझे बहुत भूख लगी है. I don't know about you, Nipun. Are you hungry?
Yeah, I
Dinner?
think
What time do you have dinner?
yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we'll end the session. Just wanted to say thanks everyone for being here. Thank you, Ananta, for interpreting, and Manisha for coming on board, and Savai for saying the starting, introducing the topic. And you can obviously all this stuff is going to be available on the YouTube channel. I'll send you the link, Nipun, and you can also read about it on Newshook. There are media partners, so the story will come out by Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how fast I can send the transcripts to Newshook. And just a last minute, thought के हमें आवाज उठाने की जरूरत है. इवन लास्ट टाइम जो लास्ट सेशन था उसमें भी मैंने कहा था कि इवन निपुण ने कहा है कि स्ट्रगल बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, परसिस्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, और जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज आपके पास आ रही हैं, द अपॉर्चुनिटीज दैट यू आर गेटिंग, निपुण सेड that he had the opportunity that his parents were supportive of him, and that was a big factor in him starting Nipman Foundation, right? So the opportunities that you have, take them and change, like work towards change. Even Pratisha's question about how can youth do advocacy, give it time. Youth के पास सबसे ज़्यादा time है, सबसे ज़्यादा मतलब freedom of mind. मतलब I just keep thinking कि मैं last year तक या last year से पहले तक मैं क्या कर रहा था अभी, मतलब, and the amount of learning that you have just by writing letter to PM. मैंने कभी I think 8th standard में पहली बार letter लिखना सिखाते हैं, या मुझे तो 8th standard में सिखाया था, 10 standard तक वो एग्जाम में आने लगता है, बट उसको कोई सीरियसली नहीं लेता है. बट what you learn in actually writing letters, and the power of writing and speaking up, the youth have that power. And please write letters, write as much as possible. Thank you, Nipun, for coming, and thanks everyone. And with that, see you next week. Next week's topic, you had mentioned, Smita Sadasivan ma'am. She is going to come and talk about political participation and accessible elections, along with Arman sir. Everybody knows Arman sir. He's the executive director of NCP-EDP, and they were going to come. So I'm looking forward to everyone joining us, and we'll have a good discussion as we have had today. Thanks so much, Nipun. Thanks everyone, and see you guys next time.
Good night,
Bye.
Samir.
Bye, Savai. Bye.
JAF is a youth led initiative. We deeply appreciate the support of all our interns and volunteers. Thank you. You can follow us on Facebook at Javed Abdi Foundation, and you can tweet us at Rishad Shamir.